And Jesse, Ken Kendrick made some interesting comments on Burns and Gambo that I think people would like to know about.
Yeah, I guess interesting is the key word here.
Is it interesting?
It's
Is
hard.
it real?
It's hard to interpret exactly what this means. Basically, what Ken Kendrick said, he described it as an economic windfall that the Diamondbacks experienced as a result of going all the way to the World Series. The playoff teams, everyone who makes it into the playoffs, they share that revenue, and the teams that go the furthest get more money than everyone else.
That's how that works.
The Diamondbacks getting all the way to the World Series bodes well for them financially. So Ken Kendrick yesterday on Burns and Gambo was talking about that. And he said, yes, he talked about this unplanned economic windfall and how it will allow the Diamondbacks to make not insubstantial investments in the team, which is really an interesting way to phrase that.
I love the way you put that. Not insubstantial
means nothing.
Investments in the team.
He could have said substantial investments in the team.
Nope, not insubstantial.
But he chose the double negative, which I don't know. I mean, maybe he didn't mean that any differently than he would have if he had just said substantial investments in the team.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, it is clear that the Diamondbacks, there's a considerable financial gain from how deep they were able to go in the playoffs, and we just don't know exactly what that number is. And Ken Kendrick, when he was asked more specifics yesterday, didn't really give any information.
Didn't elaborate further.
So, yeah.
Here's the thing. I don't think it's going to be anything crazy, but I do think that the Diamondbacks don't need to go out and rebuild a team, right? So insubstantial, investments into the team, not insubstantial investments into the team.
Get it right.
Got it right. Got to get the double negative there. Not insubstantial investments in the team. That, I mean, I think that could be very good. I mean, of course, it's just lip service for right now until they actually do something. And of course, there is that idea that costs sometimes during free agency are outrageous, where you don't want to pay that much for someone. Like Ohtani is an incredible player. Do the Diamondbacks, are they even considering spending as much money as it's going to take to get him? Probably not. Here's something to be said, though, about that economic windfall, is that's the reason why teams like the Dodgers and the Braves and such, are able to invest so much money in their team, because they make it so far every year that they are part of that revenue sharing from the Yoffs.
Well, except for the Dodgers, right? They just get to the NLDS and get bounced every year.
Get them, Jesse. Get them. But you know what I mean, right? Like, I mean, again, that's the reason why I think teams can go all crazy. That's the reason why, the owner of the Mets can justify spending what they did, because if they get to the playoffs, then a big part of that money they invest into the team comes back to them as part of the distance that they make it. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can attest to this just in small ways. We all know how fast those games sold out. We all know how much the tickets were for the games. So there's an economic windfall just here in town based on the fact that this team went that far. Obviously, we all saw what the lines at the team shop look like, and how, like, by the sixth inning, those small team shops in between, food kiosks were like ravaged, like it was, like there was a riot that went on and there was looting, because even the mannequins were naked. It was crazy. But of course, that is all stuff that comes with the benefit of making it as far as you do. Like, there's a lot of benefits as far as how it expands your fan base, what it's going to do for ticket sales and such next year. But the big part of that is the television revenue there from their long playoff run.
Yeah. And the $1 million question here, which we still don't really have any answers to, is what's going on with the Diamondbacks TV situation.
Yeah.
We don't really have much clarity there, right? We know that Major League Baseball stepped in and took over the broadcasts, for this season. And our understanding is that the Diamondbacks did not get as much TV revenue this year as they would have under the previous deal that now no longer exists.
Yep.
And so the question moving into next season is, what does that look like for the Diamondbacks? Are they able to find a way to, have a new contract, whether it be with Major League Baseball or some other entity that actually pays them the amount of money that they were getting previously? It seems kind of unlikely that that's going to happen. The Diamondbacks are probably going to still have to deal with some cuts in terms of the revenue that's coming in from the TV side.
Correct.
And so it's they're losing money there. That seems pretty inevitable. We don't know how much it is. And they're gaining money because of the postseason run that they just had. And so it's just a math problem that we don't know the numbers right now, right?
Yeah.
Is the amount of money that they gain from the postseason run, does that outweigh any potential losses from the TV deal? Is it a wash? We don't know the answers to those questions.
We
right
do
now.
know that MLB was obligated to pay the team 80% of what they were owed by Bally Sports
Right.
for this regular season.
Right,
run,
but that
right?
doesn't necessarily carry into next year.
Correct. And not only that, but again, even if it does, that's still just 80% of what they were receiving. And I mean, there's something to be said about the fact that the Bally's deal wasn't great. Part of the reason why Bally's went the way that they did is because they overpaid a lot of these teams for their TV rights. They didn't get the streaming rights. Like what we're seeing right now with the Suns, I believe the Suns have a package where I think you can pay $110 to stream Suns game everywhere.
Yeah.
But they're still also available, on TV, right? So it's
for
like
free,
for
which
free,
is still incredible.
right? But there
Don't
are a lot
expect the Diamondbacks to do that for anyone wondering.
No, not at all. But it's here locally. It allows them to control their ad revenue that they receive from it. And there's also the idea that there are a lot of Suns fans, a lot of places, and now that $109.99 that people are paying to stream it because they don't live here in town and can't get Arizona's family are, paying for it because they live elsewhere. I believe Arizona's family is like one of those channels you can't like stream on like DirecTV and such like that. So there's things about it that
I think you can.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that they.
Directly on their. I think maybe on their website. I'm just being like on third party services. Like if I go to DirecTV, it's not available as like a channel to watch the same way other channels.
Yeah,
are.
I'm not. I think the Suns were trying to find a way to make it so that if you had one of those streaming services that it works. But yeah, I'm not totally aware of which ones it's available.
Sure. But I mean, yeah, there's a lot of things for the team to figure out, obviously. But they are out of that contract. So on the flip side, this could result in them maybe making a deal that's even bigger. We don't really know that right now, or how that business, that end of it is going to go down. So that's still a developing story.